easily stay. Now, a question that many people ask me is, why do I teach a stay command? Why don't I have what many people refer to as an implied stay? That if you say sit, sit is sit until you tell otherwise. Well, for me, an implied stay is something that requires much higher levels of canine handling skill, experience, and more importantly, consistency. And as a canine behaviourist, my job is not to make myself look amazing, it's for my clients to have high amounts of success. And I believe having that expectation of an implied stay when somebody has got so many other things to think about is a difficult ask. And I find that if you teach a specific stay, it's easier for the owner more so than the dog, and that is ultimately what's important. If the owner can have success with the dog, then I have done my job. If the owner can't have success, but I can, then I have failed them. That's why I don't teach an implied stay, and that's why I think a stay command is incredibly powerful. Break. Why do so many dog trainers seem to always use whistles? Well, I created a system around the whistle that allows for high amounts of success. What we are utilising is a lot of Pavlov's conditioning, classical conditioning systems. And what we're doing is we're pairing recall commands with a whistle. You can pair any obedience command with a whistle that you want. It's basic classical conditioning. But for me, the reason it's so powerful for recall specifically is because as humans, we often make mistakes. And one of the very common mistakes that inexperienced or lower skilled dog trainers, handlers, or owners make is what I might refer to as ruining a cue. The beautiful thing about the whistle is it's harder to accidentally make mistakes. You're not going to use your commands in a sentence that might confuse your dog. You can be very intentional of only using the whistle when training to when you can guarantee success. You put all of these theories together into the game that I call Pavlov's Whistle when it's one of my recall games, and it allows for huge amounts of success, which is why you'll see so many dog trainers using the whistle. So why do I never use clicker training? Now, clicker training for me is an interesting one. It's become its whole style of training. But in terms of actual training methodologies, clickers are simply markers to let your dog know that they've displayed a desirable behaviour. I use markers all of the time. The problem with clickers for me is that I forget them, and I don't ever want to rely on something that I might forget. And because a marker can be nothing more than a yes, can achieve exactly the same thing as a clicker when delivered with good timing consistently. So how do you charge a marker? It's the same way that you might charge a clicker to let the dog know that that means a reward is incoming. The way that that would look like would be something like yes, yes, yes. Dozens into hundreds of reps, charge that word yes to mean that food is oncoming. We can then use that as our marker, the same way that you can use a clicker. The beautiful thing about yes is that I always have it and I'm not going to forget it.